Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? Because it's time to put them on. Because the conversation starts now. You are from Belgium, correct?
Yes, I'm from Belgium, but my father is Moroccan. That's why it sounds exotic.
Oh, okay. I knew you had a little spice to
A
it.
little African in
A
me.
little African in you. That's right.
That's my father. He's got the same hair as you.
Where's let me see. Oh, there he is. Oh, okay. Let me meet Daddy.
Here's Daddy and Mommy.
Oh, look, she's a striking beauty too. Yes, she is.
So my father was Moroccan and my mother was Belgian.
So
and they've always got my back.
Yeah, absolutely. 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 A place. And we're preparing a place too here on the edge. The place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. And today we have Yasmina Fadli from Belgium.
Yes.
I'm so glad to have her. She's beautiful. And let me give you a compliment before we get started. There's a lot of people that have a smile, but people do not smile with their mouth open, and yours is absolutely gorgeous. That is your trademark, okay? I mean, you just look like so happy and inviting, and just beautiful words and fragrances are going to come out of your mouth every time I see you smile. So thank you for that. It makes me happy.
I received that. Thank you, April.
If your words had an odor, Yasmina, what would they smell like?
Ooh, good question. It would smell like a sunrise. What does a sunrise smell?
Is that a tequila sunrise?
No, it would crisp and fresh and new, you know?
Would it be citrusy? Would it be tropical?
No, it would be mountains, water, spring water. Yeah, like when you go into the mountains and there's a waterfall.
Yes.
You can smell that, right?
Right.
I think it would smell like that.
Well, because you want us to rise up as women. You want us to flow like a river. You want us to be clear like water. You want us to have a taste that lays on our tongue, a sweet effervescence. And so that's what we're going to talk about, Brains, is, she wants us to rise up as women. She's done a lot of work in this space. So we want to ask her a little bit about her story, her journey, her truth, what has cost her, what has bought her, and what has taught her here on the edge. Let's welcome her. Yasmina, welcome.
Thank you so much, April. Wow, and you've got a way with words. It's inspiring. And I feel like the warmth in your heart. So it's really a joy to be here with you.
Well, thank you so much. I work hard at loving on people, trying to understand, and trying not to judge. Because I'll tell people in a minute now, I'm not a liar. Yes, I am judgmental. That doesn't mean it's negative, but it's the way that I edit, filter, and process, and it's by my judgment. So tell us how you show up in the world.
Well, today I show up in the world as different, but yet same things. And the similarity is I am a growth architect. And I help people and organizations to grow. When it comes to organizations, I help organizations as a sales strategist. I help them to grow their business and to sell from a value-driven and human-centric approach. And as an empowerment coach and a transformational trainer, I help female entrepreneurs and female leaders to embrace their value and position themselves with much more confidence and clarity. And then I also, and that's really my life's mission, I also help teenagers build their brilliant future. But above all, I want them to fall madly in love with themselves so they can take integrity-based decisions. That's how I show up in the world today.
And you said, I had a way with words, right? We're going to jump in the middle and then we're going to jump back because you talk about women and you are an empowerment coach. The word empowerment is a big $25 word.
Yes.
And I really like to ask people that all the time. Where did you acquire the pixie dust to be able to sprinkle upon another person's heart to empower them? Because in my perception, my understanding is that empowerment is something that is done within. You've got to do the work. You've got to show up. You've got to want it. You've got to need it. And you've got to follow through.
Agreed. And so empowerment coach is really helping women in this case to empower themselves and to guide them in the journey within. That's for me so important because we as women, and men too, but women to a greater extent, we're always looking to the outside world to validate ourselves, to give ourselves worth, to love, to find appreciation, to find love, all these kind of things. We look outside. And the most important thing that I've learned in the past 20 years doing the work, like you're saying, and it's work. I mean, you know, April, and I know it's work. But what I've learned is everything that I was looking for outside of myself really is found within myself. And when I made that transition and when I got to understand that point, that's when the rising up, the showing up, the regaining my power went naturally when I made the click here that it's inside of me.
Absolutely.
It's such a liberation, by the way, when I made that transition. Ooh, so
well,
much
it was like, you know, you're looking for love in all the wrong places. People are looking for that outside validation. Those people are going to leave, brains. You're no longer going to be the object of their attention, and they're going to skirt off and do something else, be it in your relationship, be you get laid off of your job, your kids leave home, you know, you put on an extra 40 pounds and your friends start talking about you. So you have to learn to love yourself. I tell people that all the time. I'm my biggest fan. I don't wait for other people to say, oh, you know, you've done a great job. I look in the mirror, I'm satisfied with it. Fine. And I'm not a perfectionist because perfection also can show up as insecurity. Wouldn't you agree?
And perfection kills our progress. Perfection keeps us, what I say, on the same tile where we are standing, the tile of our comfort zone. So perfection keeps me in my comfort zone and doesn't make me experience new things and really getting that freedom. Oh my God, I really want to try to have your audience feel that the possibility of the freedom of just being yourself unapologetically, like you're saying, validating yourself. I'm the most proud when I can look at my work and say, wow, well done, Yasmina.
Yes.
It took me so long to finally say that to myself instead of waiting for someone else to say that. But there's a freedom in that. I cannot express that emotion.
Exactly.
Like in words, you know?
So let's talk about the woman entrepreneur, the one that is living with the imposter syndrome. Again, she's not the perfectionist, but she's the one that, you know, is pretending so hard to be something that she's not, doesn't know how to take a break, and again, doesn't know how to take criticism. Criticism is something that, you know, that people are going to give you. But like I say, if they're not talking about you, you're not doing nothing. That's exactly what I said.
So, and you know, I've been there. I felt that imposter syndrome for so long in my career. I've only been an entrepreneur for 5 years now. Before that, I was in a sales career for 25 years. I started out 25 years ago being the first woman selling forklifts in the port of Antwerp. Let me tell you, coming like 23 years old, coming into a man environment, the port of Antwerp, that's like male dominant, specifically 25 years ago. But so that's that imposter syndrome. It's about self-doubt. It's about comparing yourself to others, which is so ridiculous that we're doing it, because how can we compare ourselves to others? We don't know what's behind the curtain of these other people. We only see, and specifically now with social media, we only see the front and the success and the happiness. And
the facade, right? The facade,
right? And then I try in my videos on my social media, I try to keep it real. We're not perfect. We don't need to be like someone else. We just need to find our own voice, our own path, our own strengths, and discover what our weaknesses are, and being all right with that. Oh, that's such a big one.
But the other thing that they need to do is women in business need to understand their value.
Yes.
They need to ask for the business.
Yes.
And they need to close the cotton picking deal.
Yes.
This is really what annoys me. Oh, I'm a woman in business. Okay, well, you've never asked me for the business. Do you automatically assume because you say that XYZ, I'm going to automatically come on board? You have to position yourself to value.
Exactly.
You have to color in the white space.
Exactly. Because your doubt translates to your customer. Your customer feels that energy, even if you are portraying to be confident. We know all these women, that portray to be confident, but when we talk to them, you and we know that they're very insecure.
I can hear it within the first 2 or 3 sentences.
Right?
Tell me about yourself. If you start with the victim mentality, oh, I'm, Judy, and I'm an alcoholic, or I'm Judy and I've been sexually abused, or I'm Judy and I
don't get a raise. I don't get a raise. I don't get that promotion.
Exactly. All of these things that poor Judy goes through. But Judy, have you realized who you are today?
Exactly.
And the value that you hold within yourself? You hold the power and the key. You just have to be the confident person and exude that confidence to allow someone to pull it out of you like a bad tooth. Just yank it out.
And you talked about criticism, and I was there too. I couldn't stand criticism, because everything that people would say to me, I would take as a real criticism, and I would go like, oh my God, am I so bad? And I'm not doing this right. And all, I call them the gorillas on our shoulders. It's like a tribe. They're not in the midst like Jane Goodall found or something. They are on our shoulders. But criticism, I had to learn as I was growing in confidence. I would get pushback. Of course, insecure people would see my confidence and make them and it made them feel more insecure. And that's where I learned that the feedback we are getting, we need to filter it. And that's what I say to some of my female coaches. If people tell you something, listen to what they are saying,
right?
But don't necessarily take it as a truth. Because there are 3 things when someone says something to you. It can be their truth. It can be a mirror to what is still to grow within yourself. Or it's something that's really valuable with the intent to make you move forward, to evolve in the next version of yourself, or the best version of whatever you want to call it. So criticism is always good. I don't see it as bad. But we have to learn that to silence our gorillas when we hear criticism and take it as feedback. And sometimes the feedback I get is none of my business. It doesn't relate to what I'm doing. It doesn't matter what they're saying. And sometimes I need to listen and say, oh, maybe that's a point that I can grow. So,
well, again, it's the edit and the filtering, because some people are talking out of another porthole, and we're not talking about this one. And it's their opinion, and opinions stink.
Exactly.
So now, okay, so we've talked to the woman that has not made the ask. Now that she makes the ask, closing on the deal. Closing on the deal. There are men that, I use this example all the time. They go on the golf course. They're on the golf course for 2 hours, and they close multi-million-dollar deals over a cigar, a cocktail, a wink and a smile. Women are less risky because I guess it's in our nature to be the nurturer, to be the protector, but you have to get beyond that. You're going to have to get like those gorillas and be the hunter and gatherer. You've got to be hungry. You've got to go out there. Money is a psychology. Sales is a psychology. It is not sleazy. You know, I'm not a pushy salesperson, but you best believe I'm asking for the business and I'm closing on the deal. And I don't feel bad about it if the person says no. Maybe they're not prepared. Maybe they can't afford it. Maybe it's not the right fit. But the word no is only the word on spelled backwards.
Ooh,
You
good
know?
one. Oh,
So,
I make this comparison all the time. We should learn from men, like you're saying, on the golf course, but even naked in the locker room,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
They do football. We call it football. You call it American football. It's different than our football.
And you know, and I tell people all the time that should be changed because you are really the original football.
Football, exactly. So the men, they on Saturday they do the football thing, then they go into the shower naked, and then they go like, oh, I need to talk to this CEO. Do you know him? Oh, I know him. I will introduce you. And even if they don't like each other, they will still help each other for opportunities. What do? We would never be seen naked in the locker room. Some of us will, but I mean, mostly we wouldn't, because what would start? It's like the judgment goes in. We would come from the playing field and we would go into the locker room, we would take a shower, and we would go look at her breasts and her belly and her behind and her whatever.
Right.
Instead of connecting with each other. So we have a natural guard up, as if other women are there to get us, to not help us, to like, the world is not unsafe, people. So
there's a level of jealousy.
Also,
you know, yeah, or they're envious of what they think you have, but people don't understand the struggle is real.
The struggle is real.
My mother
the work is real.
I remember my mother telling me a story a long time ago of this little girl. They were in the classroom. The little girl had beautiful long ringlets, and the other kids would pick on her because they were jealous of her. One of the other girls cut off her long ringlets, right? About 2 years afterward, the girl with the little long ringlets died of leukemia.
Oh.
So you never know what somebody else is going through. Okay.
Exactly.
The grass is not always greener on the other side.
No, it's not. I wouldn't want to walk in someone else's shoes. I'm telling you, what I get in life, or what I've gotten in life, is what I can handle. If I look at some of the people, their lives, I would go like, oh my God, thank God I'm not living their challenges. I'm having my challenges, right? They are enough, but the others are. I don't look at the grass is greener on the other side. And so we can learn from men to connect with each other. And instead of comparing ourselves with the success of another woman, we should try to help each other to move up the ladder. And all the envious and all the what the things you've all been saying, it all springs from doubting ourselves, and we have to stop it. Because men don't doubt themselves, huh? They don't think that much, maybe. They don't have all these chatter in, maybe not as much as we have, but we have to stop belittling ourselves and belittling others. Because that's what we do too, huh? When a woman goes like, oh, I've done $1 million deal, then we go like, really? Or if someone says, oh, I want to do this, like a big dream, we would go like, no, that's not possible. Why isn't it possible? Men, if men tell each other their dreams or the $1 million deal, they jump brisk.
Yeah, they chest bust and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I know. Yeah, slap each other on the butt, all that. Yeah, I
And
get it.
because they don't doubt themselves that much,
Right.
there is a lack of confidence with certain men as well, and they behave in a certain way, but they don't doubt themselves in doing things. They just do. They don't
Right.
think about doing. And we're thinking about doing, and when we see a woman doing what we're thinking about doing, we become jealous because the only reason why we resent that other woman is that she's doing what we want to do and we're not doing it.
And timing is everything. It may not be your time. It may not be your season. You may
Ooh,
not be prepared, or you may get in and lose it all.
divine timing.
You
I'm
know, it's
like,
crazy. Let's talk about that sense of lack
mm,
and closing on the deal. Again, you've positioned yourself. You told somebody what you want. You asked for the business. Give us some strategies on how to close a deal.
voila. You've said it in the end. No is not a rejection. The reason why we're not asking for the deal, and so the first thing you should do is ask for the deal. The world will not explode. You will not be picked up by a astronaut, like an extraterrestrial,
Alien.
like an alien. Exactly. There will nothing bad will happen from you asking for the deal, because we are very good in lining the customer up, and then we leave it up to the customer to make a decision. No. So number one, ask for the deal. You've lined everything up, you've done the work, you've showed the value, then you ask for the deal. And we need to ask it and go beyond our fear of rejection. And no is maybe the best answer you will get from a customer, because it will either make you think it will make you revisit the process, or that customer is not your customer. And maybe 1 year,
Absolutely.
2 years from now,
Say
you
that.
will be
Say that again. That may not be your
that
customer.
may not be your customer. And the no is a gift wrapped in sandpaper, like Lisa Nichols, my coach, would say, wrapped in sandpaper, that down the line, you will be so grateful that you didn't get that customer.
You
so
did.
No,
You did.
and if it's a no, it's either a gift or it's a no for now. Ooh, I needed to learn that. Because
It's
maybe
no
the
for now.
customer is not ready for whatever you're offering. Maybe it's not the divine timing. Maybe not everything is lined up for you or the other person or other people in the
Well, and I'll tell you about, not even in business, in personal life. I gave a gift to my daughter, a huge gift. And I had the expectation, with air quotes around that word, that she was ready for it. She wasn't prepared for it. She wasn't prepared to receive it. And her expectation, well, my expectation, she fell short. And it caused a bit of a kerfuffle.
Exactly.
But I had to step back and I had to realize that I gave her more than on her plate than she could handle. And she wanted to meet that expectation, but she couldn't rise to it. It was confusing. It was overwhelming. So sometimes you have to understand that, again, everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
Everything happens for a reason, and it's a good reason.
Absolutely.
So,
and also closing the deal as a last point, we are so afraid of selling, like you said, it's a bad word and all these kind of things, but we need to understand, if we don't close the deal, we might rob someone of the opportunity to grow, to be comfortable, to whatever you're bringing, it has a value for someone. And so if we don't close the deal, we rob someone the opportunity of receiving that and enjoying that. And so you need to focus on the value and not of all the obstacles that you think
right.
are lessening the word,
The follow-up is paramount, brains. Okay?
It is.
It's a warm lead.
Yes.
People look at social media. They don't realize that that's the low-hanging fruit. You've got 5,000 people sitting there that have the possibility to gawk at you, to read your emotions, where you're traveling, what you had for dinner, what your relationships are like. But you don't even know who that person is. You've never reached out to them. You've never probably even looked at their profile. You just clicked on them because you are collecting individuals like tokens. Well, that's not me. because I will do a friend's cleanse like a colonic. I will get rid of it. Okay. It's and that's not that they're not a good person, but
No,
that person cannot have a front row seat in my life if they're not adding value. And that is the
absolutely.
sale. The sale is the value. And it
The
has to
sale
be
is the value, and the
reciprocal.
value is the sales. That's it's like back and forth the same.
It's reciprocal. It's give and take.
Yes,
It's like energy, it's like money. It has to move, it has to be recycled, it has to be repurposed. If you
absolutely.
don't, if you live with clenched fists, that means that you cannot receive nor can you give. That's
That's
the
right
only
there.
thing. And you do yourself a disservice. Well, that is absolutely wonderful. But now I want to ask you some fun questions because you look like a fun kind of girl. How about that?
Ah! I can be
Oh,
at times.
yes. Well, I bet all the time. You
All
live
the
there in
time.
Belgium. If I came to visit you, what would you take me to do?
Ooh. Well, I would take you um not to the traditional places, but I would take you first of all to the Diamond Museum, which
Mm,
is in my hometown, which is really cool. But I would take you to a restaurant. Belgians, we really love food
I know. And pastries.
and pastries, exactly. So I would take you to the traditional Belgian restaurant where we can eat traditional Belgian food. That's
Mm.
the first thing I would do. Then I would take you to the riverside. We have a beautiful river here, which is really cool. But that's something you all know. And then I would just
How about the music? Do you have a certain eclectic type of music or cultural type of music, or is there a
we have
dance?
Dutch speaking music. It's a great question. It's good that you ask me. I have so many friends in the States, United States, that it's a good question. I need to think
Well,
about
you have to get the list ready because when I come,
Oh, I would take you to the Jazz Festival
oh wow,
of Europe. It's
oh
taking right
wow,
place here in Belgium. And it's a really cool jazz festival. And we have traditional, like Dutch music, Dutch speaking music,
Mhm.
but you wouldn't understand it, so it wouldn't make sense, I think.
But if it has a rhythm, if it has a beat, music
Is
is a universal language. It will
true, true.
transcend because I'm really into Scottish music now. I like that the
Really?
Celtic girl. The Celtic's got a little something going on to it. I like that, and I love country western music.
Oh,
If
me
you were an
too.
appliance in the kitchen, Yasmina, what appliance would you be and why?
If I was an appliance, do you want me to show you?
Yeah,
I'll grab it.
she's going to show us, Ryan's.
It's not an appliance, but I love this one.
Oh, it's got crystals in it.
Exactly.
A crystal
It's a pitcher, water pitcher.
wow. Do you put different minerals in that?
It's it's formed like that, and there are mountain crystals and smaragd. I don't know what the word is in. I'll look it up. But it's a water pitcher
Mhm.
with minerals in it.
So it
And
right. So it
you cannot
infuses the
change it.
minerals. Right.
Yeah,
So it
you
infuses the
cannot change
minerals
it.
into the water.
Yeah.
So okay, so now why would that be you?
Because you can drink water, and any water tastes like water. But what I bring is an extra zhuzh to the water so that you start moving forward and taking action.
Mm, okay. I
That's
would be
what.
the refrigerator.
Really?
I just want to chill
Ah,
or put it on freeze.
put it on free. Oh, I love that one. Pause.
What?
Freeze.
Just freeze. Just get it nice and hard and stiff, and I can thaw it out when I get ready. That's good.
That's a cool one. I
What
love
are
that one
what are
too.
3 of your guilty pleasures? What are 3 things that you absolutely cannot live without?
Guilty pleasures. It's 80s music,
Okay.
like Bananarama and the Bangles and Mel and Kim and Bon Jovi. So 80s music. Second thing, guilty pleasure would be, listen, I don't watch a lot of television, but when I do, I can binge watch the Real Housewives of any city in America.
Yeah, girl, that's full of entertainment. They are on cray cray. Yes, they are.
Exactly. They are so far out of it that I go like, oh my God. But it's like it stops my brain
And you know
for
what's unfortunate, because I work in Hollywood,
mm,
it's more true than fiction.
really. Oh, I would think it was all fiction.
Uh, uh,
Oh,
real yeah,
that's even sadder
it
because
is,
we
it is
here in
sad.
Belgium, we like women like my friends, we binge watch sometimes these shows, and we look at it with compassion, like, oh my God, you've got everything, all the opportunities, all the connections, all the whatever, and that's what you're doing. So it's
But
like
if you look at the backstory, you'll see a lot of them are in foreclosure. The alcoholism is real. The
yeah,
infidelity is real. The body dysmorphia is real. The
wow,
problems with those things are real. And I don't know. I kind of don't watch them only because I know that, and then, with all that, they put a little, of course, sensationalism, because that's what the cameras want to see.
of course.
But they don't show the love and they don't show the compassion. They show the wedding, but they emphasize the divorce. So it's a lot about life that, reality TV has brought to the surface. And a lot of people are destroyed by that. So I want
Wow,
people to look at those, with a side eye and say, hey,
wow,
it may appear that they have everything, but again,
but
as
it's
we
not.
said, but as you said, the grass is not always greener on the other side.
No,
No.
no, no, no. And that makes me think, I haven't seen the Real Housewives in a while now because I stopped at a certain
Yeah,
moment.
they're not doing. I don't think
Are
Bravo
they
is
still
doing
running?
it.
I don't know.
They
And it
are, but
takes a
I don't
while
think they
before
have
it
as
comes
many.
here
They used to have the housewives of
of
everything,
every
of
everything.
every city, all of that, basketball wives and football
Yeah,
wives, and
yeah.
all that. So now, and then what is that saying to a woman about being a wife?
Not only about being a wife, but about being a sister to the other women.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely. Being a
And so you
nurturer, being a partner, being a supporter, being an encourager, being a person of wisdom.
being
It
true,
doesn't
being real.
exactly. It doesn't lend a lot to that, but that's what television does now. Okay, so what's
Exactly.
your third thing?
My third. Oh, you ask such beautiful questions. But my third, I don't like women would say chocolate or something. I don't like chocolate. I am from the land of chocolate,
I know.
Belgium is the
I was
land.
like, Belgium child, you don't like
Uh,
chocolate?
I'm not a chocolate woman. What is my guilty pleasure? Oh, TikTok. TikTok. I'm telling you. But for the dance videos, for the funny things, and specifically for the clips that show people helping others.
Mm.
That I can watch forever. You also have Judge Judy clips on there and stuff like that.
I know, but you know what about the TikTok? My daughter was really a TikToker, and at first it was just entertainment.
Yes.
Then it moved and morphed into a social platform. Do you remember what happened during the election? I mean, it was the government here in the United States wanted to shut it down because it had such an influence. So I was talking to my
Really?
grandchildren one day, and I said, what is this about TikTok?
TikTok.
They said the millennials want information in bite-sized pieces.
Fast. Yeah.
They want to process it. They don't need a whole 45-minute segment or 30-minute segment from mainstream media that is, that can be manipulated. that's
Yeah.
not factual. Just tell me what it is. Okay, there's been an earthquake this time, move on.
It's a good thing, like what you're saying. I like it because effectively it's like 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. On the other hand, it makes you the input becomes huge, you know, because the clips are 1.5, 2 minutes. You keep getting information, so that's an overload of information. But I agree with the millennials, it's nice to know.
Right, they want it in a container. They want it.
Yes.
So you mentioned millennials.
You mentioned
and you and you mentioned the 80s. If you could
yeah.
if you could time travel,
Oh,
where would you land?
wow. I would land on the bed of Yasmina at 14 years old,
Hmm.
just before she ran away from home.
Hmm. Tell us a
And
little bit about that.
well, when I was 14 years old, my mother and my father divorced when I was 9 years old, and my father abandoned us. He didn't show up anymore in our lives. And at 14 years old, I was feeling lonely, lost, yeah, abandoned, low self-worth, self-esteem, nothing. Like really contemplating on, is life still worth living?
Wow,
Those were my things. Yeah.
And so that was based upon the breakup of your parents.
Yes, breakup of my parents. My father left. He didn't pay any child support and all these kind of things, which made my mother go into survival mode and work really hard. And that therefore she was in survival mode, dealing with her own process, and couldn't be emotionally available. But at 14 years old, you need emotional available parents to keep you grounded and centered. And that wasn't the case. So I was making a lot of bad decisions, drugs, alcohol, bad boyfriends, all these kind of things. So at 14, I was sitting in my I remember I was sitting on my bed in my bedroom, and I decided I was not staying in this environment. I didn't know what other environment I wanted. That's the problem. That was the problem. But I knew that the environment that I was in was not helping me. And so I took my backpack, put everything in there, and I left. I wandered the streets for a couple of weeks. Then the police picked me up. I was sent to a juvenile institution, and I stayed there until I was 18 years old. So I would love to time travel back to tell the 14-year-old that it's just a moment in time. That what you're feeling right there, right now, is not what your future will look like.
Well, that's a powerful message. So you've been there, done that. You got the T-shirt.
Ooh, and I bought a factory.
And in closing, what do you want your legacy to be?
I hope that people that have met me, worked with me, or just saw me in the street or in the supermarket, that their heart was warmed and that they felt a spark of hope and a spark of possibility of, if we're talking about that river, going back to the river, of just moving one stone in your own river to create the future that you cannot even believe is possible right now.
Anything is possible. My mother used to always say, if your mind can conceive it, you can achieve it.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing new under the sun, brains. Nothing.
No. It's been said by so many people already. It's been like, look, it's been written by so many people. We're talking about it. It's nothing new. It stems from the Bible and before that. So anything is possible, even if you don't see even if you cannot like when you are in a certain situation, it's difficult to see another situation, right? But you have to trust, and that's the main thing. You have to trust that there's something possible that you cannot even see right now.
That's right. And
Because
again, that is what we were talking about, is being that risk taker,
Mm.
elevating yourself to the next opportunity, asking for the business, following up, closing, caring, sharing, and removing as much self-doubt, because we're always going to doubt ourselves. That's, like fear. That's our warning sign, well, maybe let me second guess this, let me think. But to stay stuck in that mindset, what we want you to do is elevate your consciousness and your awareness, engage all of your senses, be able to sniff it out and work with great people like Yasmina. Please tell my brains how to get in contact with you, to work with you, have you come out and speak, bring you here to the United States, because I'm going to take you to Disneyland. How about that? I know exactly where to take you.
I know, but I lived in Miami for 6 months, so I've been to Disneyland.
No, you've been to Disney World.
Okay. We mix it all up.
It's kind of the same. It's bigger, but I'm telling you, my daughter has been to Disneyland 34 times last year.
What?
Oh, yeah. Yes, girl. That's a whole nother show.
I love it.
She says it's the happiest place on earth. So we could take you there and have a whole new adventure. But tell us about an adventure with you and how to get in contact with you.
Well, it's just my name, yasminafadli.com. It's a Dutch and English speaking website. You can find me there. You can go on my social media. You can find me on Yasmina Fadli on Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok with some dances and singing on there. And if you want to mail me, you can also do that. hello@yasminafadli.com.
Yasmina Fadli, brains, I need you to go in, and I can't find my postcard. Can you believe it?
Hey!
It's here. You got yours.
Here you go.
All right, there, brains. You see that? That's the place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. I need you to like, love, share, and subscribe. One more time, like, love, share, and subscribe. You are the best. Thank you so much for popping in from Belgium, and I hope to connect with you soon. I love Europe, and Europe loves me because I spend a lot of money.
Come on over.
I'm going to come on over and
I'll
visit
make a
you.
tour. I'll make a tour with you. Thank you so much. It's been a joy, and it's been wonderful. And thank you so much for the invitation to join you on the edge with you, April Mahoney.
Thank you. All right, brains, handle your business. Go close a deal.